Iwapele, live tomorrow, build your character today. Iwapele, live tomorrow, build your character today. I just say a prayer to my Ori, yeah. When I wake, I sprinkle some OT, yeah. I can break the chains cause I'm free, yeah. My Egun is watching over me, yeah. Kneeling down, I'm praying at the shrine, all it takes is just a little time.
Hey, Abora boy, this is Fakola Day, and this is IdinKaa Ifa Temple. We're happy to see y'all. I want to begin with morning prayers. Mojuba Olorun, Mojuba Eleda, Mojuba Olorun Mare, Mojuba Bobo Romale, Mojuba Bobo Emale, Mojuba Bobo Egun Timbili, Solo Mare, Mojuba Miss Mother Dear Lucy Dainsman, Mojuba Darsal, Mojuba Basement, Senior Mojuba Fidelis, Mojuba Fidelis Watkins, Mojuba Dali, Mojuba Zion, Mojuba Nago, Mojuba Cooking Homes, Mojuba Cooking Watkins, Mojuba Kenny Dunn, Mojuba Katie Bradley, Mojuba Skibradley, Mojuba James Rich, Mojuba Benino Chino, Wambo Mill, No Block, Dennis, Agustin Bill Mill, Mojuba Bobo Egun Timbili, Solo Mare, Asher. Edgy Ogbe, he who hears people's pleas and accepts the pleas, he who hears people's pleas and approves pleas, he who talks to people and ensures that the talks complete Zorth. He who hears people's pleas and accepts the pleas is the name of Ifa. He who hears people's pleas and approves the pleas is the name of Dara. He who talks to people and ensures that the talk is completely absorbed is the name of Orishanla. Orishanla, you're the person who molds human beings. The person who molds one cannot fail to impress one. The striped frog is on someone's rainfall. The bullfrog is on someone's downpour. It is whatever the Akeredupon, tree root tells earth, with whatever the earth accepts. Whatever the big rat tells the earth is whatever the earth accepts. All what I tell you, Ifa, please accept them and approve them. Asher, Ifa, we give thanks for all the things that you have provided for us. O Turete, to show gratitude upon gratitude is your gratitude. To display benevolence upon benevolence is the all of our benevolence. Whoever does not show gratitude, yes, his benevolence. Such a person not received today's gratuity. These are that grace Ifa to the corner on the room land. We're going to marry your point. God I'm grateful. I see my gratuity. I'm grateful for yesterday's favor. I see today's gratuity. O Turete, we're very grateful. Asher. Awa dupe, awa bore. Awa dupe o, awa bure. Adupe anawa obore tonepo Olodumare. Awa dupe, awa bure. Awa dupe o, awa bure. Adupe anawa obore tonepo Oriani. Awa dupe, awa bure. Awa dupe o, awa bure. Adupe anawa obore tunebo irumole. Awa dupe, awa bure. Awa dupe o, awa bure. Adupe anawa obore tunebo legun lorisha. Awa dupe, awa bure. Awa dupe o, awa bure. Adupe anawa obore tunebo. Olodumare and the divinities, we ask that you would forgive us for the things that we might have done incorrectly or wrong. Forgive us for breaking any taboos, any things that we might have done incorrectly. Yeah, also tutu. Pounded Yamadasuwe, Counted down without Subi can be very difficult to consume. These were the declarations of Ifa to Tutu, the child of Agbenuegun. He was full of bad character. He's bad out to prevent him from Ntitifa's domain. Now it comes to solicit on behalf of Tutu. We've come to beg on behalf of Tutu. Father, please be patient. Overlook this provocation. Those who beg on behalf of Tutu. Arumla responded by saying, those who beg on behalf of Tutu. Those who solicit on behalf of Tutu. How many children does Ifa have that he would cast one out? Those who beg on behalf of Tutu. Ifa, please forgive us. Ifa, we ask at this time that you will continue to ward off the sickness, cases, controversy, COVID-19, all sorts of challenges. Please ward these things off from us at this time. Bring to us in its place long life, good spouse, good children, longevity, prosperity, victory over adversity, peace of mind, joy, healing, and all the good things. We call on Holy Odu, Ogbealara. Orumla says it's time to sleep. I echo it, it's time to sleep. When the day dawned, I met Orumla in the 16th room, where he covered his head with a flowing gown full of lice. He was wearing dress full of bloodstains. He was snowing heavily. They told him that a delegate from his stock arrived. Orumla inquired what the delegate brought. They told him that he brought 2 rats swift in running, 2 fish graceful in swimming, 2 birds swift in flight, and 2 goats with big livers. Orumla said that is not enough to wake him up. I admit my ignorance. Please educate me. Motunakaraba. I hide myself in your bosom and survive. Motunakaraba. The dog carrying a masquerade beast the Agbadron repeatedly. The dog carrying masquerade beast the Agbadron repeatedly to perform rituals because of children. You are the leaders. We are the followers. Leaders are the ones who show the followers wisdom. Orumla told them to get alligator pepper, to get cola nut, to get bitter corn nut, to get alcohol. Yacapo got the alligator pepper. He got the cola nut. He got the bitter corn nut. And he got the alcohol. That is right. It's now that he's fully awake. Orumla, when you are fully awake, please look at me with your eyes of compassion. It is with eyes of compassion that the heavenly stars used to look at the stars below. Orumla, when you are fully awake, please look at me with your eyes which help one to secure great wealth. This secular eyes that the heavenly stars would use and looking at the stars below. Orumla, when you are fully awake, please look at me with your eyes which help one to secure a good spouse. Such good eyes my spouse would use and looking at me with. Orumla, when you are fully awake, please look at me with your eyes which help one to bear many children, and such good eyes a child should use and looking at a well-decorated plate. Before long, not too far, join us in the midst of all Irian life. Ifa, we call on you. We ask that you will continue to ward off the challenges from us. Ward off the sickness, cases, controversy, ward off all evil and danger, and bring to us long life, good spouse, good children, peace of mind, all wonderful things. Support us, Olodumare. We call on the Holy Odu Ifa Oshetra. I kick anybody inside. The abstract sharply against the tree. Cast Ifa for Orumla when he used to receive Iba and Ashe from Olodumare. If an award tells you you shall be wealthy, you shall surely be wealthy. I kick in bagisa in the mouth of an award is Aziba and Ashe in the mouth of an award. If an award tells you have joy, you shall live joy. I kick in bagisa in the mouth of an award is Aziba and Ashe in the mouth of an award. If no tells you have peace, you should surely have peace. I kick in bagisa in the mouth of an award is Aziba and Ashe in the mouth of an award. If no tells you have all Iran life, you should surely have all Iran life. I kicking it bagisa in the mouth of an award, in the mouth of an award is Adiba and Ashe in the mouth of an award Oshetra. Tiny are the feet of Tubu. The stripe of a chameleon is not big enough to be his headgear. Had it been enough to be his headgear, I would have taken it home and adorned my head with it. These Wifa's decorations to Aruela and going on a spiritual mission to Jebuland. We call on local skin sons and pay her money. We call on the salt seller and make her rich. We call on Oshe Aruela. Oshe Aruela is a good hour. Ifa, we call on you, ask that you would hear all of our prayers at this time. We've put all the Ashe in. Ashe. Ashe Orisha, lẹ́nu mi o, Ashe Orisha, lẹ́nu mi. Mo pon tí mo bá màmá wí o, ìrúnmọlẹ̀ ó bà. Ifá ó bà o, Ashe Orisha, lẹ́nu mi. Ashe Orisha, lẹ́nu mi o, Ashe Orisha, lẹ́nu mi. Mo pon tí mo bá màmá wí o, ìrúnmọlẹ̀ ó bà. Ifá ó bà o, Ashe Orisha, lẹ́nu mi. Bímọ dúró tí mo súre, bímọ bẹ̀rẹ̀ tí mo súre, bímọ kúnlẹ̀ tí mo súre, bímọ jókòó tí mo súre, Ìrètí mo sùn orí ti bọ́. Bí mo dúró tí mo súre. Bí mo bẹ̀rẹ̀ tí mo súre. Bí mo kúnlẹ̀ tí mo súre. Bí mo jókòó tí mo súre. Ìrètí mo sùn orí ti bọ́. That song says, if I am sitting and praying, if I'm standing and praying, if I'm kneeling and praying, all my prayers will be heard. Ashe. We call on Olodumare at this time. We call on our Oris. Ori ani larura ani o. Ori ani larura ani. Wolo mi fa wa mori. Ori ani larura ani. Ori ani larura ani o. Ori ani larure ani. Mojulo mi fa wa mori. Ori ani larure ani. That song basically says that your head, your consciousness is your good luck charm. Bobore chasu, ifa oba lorun, ati bachaju, ifa oba lorun, oshe atu ati bo. Ifa, we've come, we've given thanks, we've given praise. We've asked for forgiveness. We've asked for the things that we need. At this time, we ask that you would continue to ward off death, continue to ward off sickness, continue to ward off fights, continue to ward off all the challenges that are around us. And in the place of those things, please bring to us long life. Give us good spouses, good children, peace of mind, joy, healing, success, and all the good things of life, God. Support us and help us. How's everyone? So thankful to have you all here today with us at IdinKaa. Once again, I'm Oluo Fakolade of IdinKaa Ifa Temple. And today we want to talk about something that's very unique, I think, a very unique topic. Ebo and Ewo, more efficacious than medicine. So before we jump into any of our discussion, I just want to send out some thank yous and some shout outs to people who have been supportive of the temple, and also these are members of the temple. I want to send thank yous out to Catherine Edmonds, Robert Edmonds, Taylor Gentry Edmonds, Robin Edmonds, Annette Phillips, Tamani Smart, Ifadara, Audrey, Denise, Susanna, Jax. I want to say thank you to Tonda Sizwe Shamaringa, Maisha Walker-Dean, Dr. Kritia. We want to thank our Baba Ifa, Shalagbade Popola. We want to thank all of the teachers and helpers, Olunla, Irawu Ifa. We want to thank all these people who have supported us on our process and path and learning Ifa and transforming and doing this great work. We also want to thank Jose Rodriguez Agbola and so many more. Egbeleke. We want to thank all of you all for your support, and we want to also thank those of you who are also members of IdinKaa Ifa Temple. We thank you all so very much. So that, as I said before, today's topic is taboo and Ebo. So before I begin, I want to pray once more so that we can have the full support of the Irumole. Olodumare, please come and look after us. Help so that the message that is sent, the message that is presented today will reach ears with positivity, with joy, with protection, with love. We ask at this time that you would support us and transform the challenges in our life to opportunities to make us even greater. Because it is all for the building of our destiny. It is all for the building of our path. Ashe. Emma kamemene amo, Emma kamemene anu, Emma kamemene adelokun, Tamole to Ifa loni mi, Ebora timpanini, Ene banami, Ahon Atifa Lelejo Ashe. So today's topic, as I said before, is Ebo and Ewo. Taboo and sacrifice are more efficacious than medicine. Ebo is sacrifice. And Ebo is one thing. We always, people, when we come and cast Ifa and do different things, there's always some sort of Ebo or Ebo Riru that is related to that, connected to what we're doing. But along with that, there are also things that we need to do that support that Ebo in manifesting, support our prayers in manifesting. And that oftentimes is taboo. When we think about taboo, one thing we need to think about is the power of that aspect of taboo, the power of the ability to abstain from certain things that we ought not do. There are times that we could be feeling like we should be at a certain juncture in life, and we don't reach that juncture because we're doing something that is against our destiny. We're doing something that is antipodal to our progress. So when we think about these things that undercut our progress, some of those things can be, if you want to be successful, but you're hanging around with individuals who are the dregs of the world. They're individuals who like to do crime and they like to do negative things. And let's say you want to occupy a certain political office. The first thing that the people will do is they will investigate your background. So in a real sense, in a very practical sense, it is taboo for you to hang around with people who don't have the same objectives that you do. It is taboo for you to be around folks who don't want to progress. If you want to progress, if you want to be great, it is a taboo for you to be around individuals who don't aspire to any greater. That's how powerful taboo is. If we abstain from it, we are successful. And if we don't, then we can be assured that we fall. So many times when we think about this idea of taboo and why taboo is more efficacious than medicine, I think about the concept of following your taboo can be the difference between life and death. Ifa says in Oba Oshe, it is the tortoise which wakes and places the Ifa tray on his head. The snail is it which travels and uses its house as its load. The black ant's masquerade is it which comes out when he comes in his flying costume. These were Ifa's decorations to Olodumare. After creating the world, he made taboo king. If we undergo Ifa initiation, we will die. If we do not undergo Ifa initiation, we will die. Please let us recognize taboo. Taboo is the most difficult. It is the most delicate of them all. It is taboo killing people in the world. They were merely accusing death falsely. That is such a powerful Ifa. Because when you think about that verse, what Ifa is also saying is that by engaging in your taboo, you are in essence undercutting your life, undercutting your success. In Ejiogbe, Ifa says that we all should be living to a ripe old age. And when we think about this idea of the ripe old age, Ifa says in Ejiogbe that people should be living till at least age 200, 256. Like, so when we think about people passing away in 70s, 80s, 90s, what have you, that is, they're young. in a real sense, people can be passing away before their time. But what is it due to? Ifa says that this process is due to old age, deterioration, the sun even beating down, deteriorating our bodies, but also taboo. When you think about this, there are people in Pakistan who are living to the age of 170. We need to be thinking about what are they doing that we are not doing. Ifa says that the thing that often kills is not Eku. Eku is really a fact of life, but the reality of it is what puts us in the place for Eku to take you. It is overindulgence in taboo many times. It is indulging in taboo. Let's think about that. I remember looking at television, and there was a young man who he had an allergic reaction to peanuts, and his girlfriend ate some peanuts, ate a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and kissed him shortly after. And the young man went into, I believe, anaphylactic shock and died. When we think about this, taboo is so powerful that we need to abstain from it. Taboo is like a spiritual allergic reaction. Things that we are allergic to spiritually. So when we're allergic to something, that thing has a power to even destroy us. But that is one aspect of taboo. Taboo also is, there are so many cases when we cast Ifa, and Ifa says, cast Ifa for the chicken, cast Ifa for the hen. When we get those Ifa verses that say things like that, what Ifa is also saying to us is, you should not eat hen because that's your taboo. And why is it that hen is taboo in those senses? It is because in that sense, hen is you. You are hen. You are in the same position that hen is in, or in the same position that the rooster is in. You are the client, or that is your awo. So you don't want to eat your awo. You do not want to eat yourself, because that is undercutting your success. That's such a powerful thought process when we begin to analyze Ifa verse deeper. But there are some times that when we are doing certain things, it literally undercuts all progress. And it might not necessarily lead to death immediately, but it will set into motion a challenge or a chain reaction that will lead to that. Ifa says in Odigbere, Ogereji Mogbo, the Awo of the town of Ido. He cast Ifa for the inhabitants of Ido. When their lives were completely down and out, they were advised to offer Abo. It was because you have not known your taboo. When you killed and sacrificed an animal, then you poured the blood on the eyes of IdinKaa. It was because you have not realized your taboo. This Ifa here says clearly that the people of Ido town, they didn't know what was good for them. They didn't know what was bad for them. And what they were doing, they kept doing the things that were commonplace in terms of everybody knows, oh, when we offer an akunlebo, when we sacrifice an animal to Ifa, we always put the blood of that animal on Ifa. That is the only way we do it. That is how we do it, and so on and so forth. And they were doing that method all the time. I call it the boilerplate approach to Ifa. And they weren't successful. They finally went and cast Ifa with competent Babalawo. And this Babalawo said, no. On Idinbe, Ifa says you should never be feeding your Ifa with blood. This is very interesting, and it's a different approach when we begin to really get deep with Ifa, because all of these Odu Ifa are specific, and each one is specific and delicate. And we cannot approach them all the same way because each Odu Ifa does not have the same taboo. So just in one miscalculation of approach, you can be undercutting your success. Taboo also falls in line of city, country, civil taboos. Examples of those kinds of things. It is a taboo for people to go around and steal from people. That is a general recognized taboo. It is a generally recognized civil, city, social taboo for you to be a destructive person and just go around destroying people's property. That is a civil and social taboo that we understand. Committing murder, all of these things. Ifa even speaks about that. In the Odu Ifa, Owarin Irete, Ifa says, Owarin strikes Irete, and he rushed into the house. Ifa's message for the elder brother who plans on marrying his younger sister. He was advised to offer a bow. It is never done. It is a taboo. An elder must never marry a younger sibling. Ifa says it right there. There are certain social aspects, certain social things that individuals should never embark on. One is incest. That is a big taboo. To commit incest, to marry your father, marry your mother, to be intimate with your sister, your brother, your parent. Any of those things we know. It's just logical. Oh my goodness, that is a taboo. But Ifa also makes sure that we know clearly that taboo is very, very important to follow because it has its own consequences. So when we think about taboo and breaking taboo has its own set of consequences associated with it. And many times that miscalculation in perhaps judgment or understanding can lead to your destruction. I want to end with discussing a story from the Odu Ifa Otra Meji. Ifa says, the bird longs for rain to fall. The awo of Elesu Mogbe, he cast Ifa for Eselu Mogbe when he was lamenting that he lacked success in all of his undertakings. He was advised to offer a bow. The pillar lies prostrate and becomes unmovable. That was the awo of Ijado. He cast Ifa for Oba Ijado when he was lamenting of his lack of success in life. He was advised to offer a bow. Only one Okun bead enters the midst for the other beads to have value added to the lot. Ifa cast for Eslumogbe, he whom Ewo taboos was destroying his destiny. He was advised to offer a bow. Now, travelers to Ipo and Ofa town, when you are asked to offer a bow, please, please, please do so. This is such a powerful verse. An even more powerful Ifa story. Ifa says that there was a man by the name of Eselu Mogbe. And Eselu Mogbe was initiated into Ifa. And when he got initiated to Ifa, he received the Odu Otura Meji. There was another man. His name was Oba Ijado. And he received Esentaye or Ekosedaye, basically the ceremony when a child is first born, and we cast Ifa for that child, and we place their feet firmly on the Oponifa, and we place their feet firmly on the earth. So Oba Ijado, he got Oturameji as part of his Esentaye Odu. So in terms of this, both of these men had the Odu Oturameji. But interestingly enough, neither of them had achieved anything worthwhile in life. Oba Ejadu. First, this man, he's tried to start an Isusu, basically a business where they were borrowing money. Basically, he would borrow money and then contribute. So Isusu is like kind of like a lottery where you might have 8 to 10 people involved, and every month they contribute, let's say, $100, and then one person gets that money and they get that $1,000, and then they contribute another 100, and then the next month that person who first got the money, they're taken out of the pool. Then the next person wins, they're taken out of the pool. So what ends up happening is over a certain amount of time, people have contributed certain amounts of money. Every month, one person withdraws. So what is happening is everybody is relying on everyone. And so when we look at the cycle, it's like one person wins, they're taken out of the pool of possible winning, they're just contributing. Next person wins, they're taken out of the pool, so on and so forth, until everyone gets a turn at the money. So interestingly enough, Oba Ejadu, he got involved in a situation kind of like that. And so he was contributing and everybody was getting theirs. And when it came to be his turn to get the money, everybody left. So everybody left and they didn't contribute any money. So he had contributed over at least $1,000 and to $1,000 loss. And he got nothing. Also, when he had made these contributions, these fair weather friends left, and they left him out in the cold. He was so distraught because he lost so much money, he began to fast and pray. And fasting and praying didn't help him at all. Then he had 3 daughters who were doing the same work as their mother. And these 3 daughters ended up dying one after the other in quick succession. When they got to be a certain age, boom, all of them. One died one way, the other one died another way, and then another one. And it was within the amount of a year's time that they died. So Oba Ejadu, naturally, what would anybody think if that amount of stuff had happened to you in a year to 2-3 years time? You'd think, oh my goodness, this is witchcraft. Somebody put roots on me. Somebody's doing something to me. So he thought about that. Then Eselu Mogbe, he comes along, and he had cast Ifa for his Etefa Odu. And what was going on with him is he began to change his profession, changed it several times. He told many of his friends, you know what, I'm better than you because I'm more intellectual than you. I should have more stuff than you have. And he often did this. He talked a lot. He talked too much. And he was very flippant in the things that he did. And he was talking all this trash, and most of his friends were much more successful than he was. His wife and children eventually abandoned him. And what ended up happening to Eselu Mogbe is he then began to drink alcohol. And he began to drink alcohol to an excessive degree, to the point where he became an alcoholic. And then when he becomes this alcoholic, he then begins to try to cover up his lies and, and say, no, I am successful. No, I'm not drinking today. It's, he begins to do all these things and tell lies to cover up his weaknesses. And as he looked at things, he was like, man, I've been changing professions. I haven't been successful. I've done everything I thought I was supposed to do. And then my wife and children, they left me. I don't have any money. I'm down and out. I'm on alcohol. So what did he think he did? He began to think, you know what? These enemies, well, he didn't say imaginary. He said that he had enemies in specific places. So he then vowed that he was going to get revenge on his enemies. So he was hypersensitive to those things. And anybody who he thought was an enemy, he would get up in their face. And what ended up happening to him is he ended up getting beat up a lot. So one day, Eselu, Mogbe, and Obaijado, they found themselves in the same place. And as they were in this same locality, they began to talk. And they realized that they had a lot in common. Eselu Mogbe was saying, you know what? My wife left me, and this and that, and I'm drinking more alcohol now, and Obai Jado, he said, I had 3 daughters who died in the matter of a year. All my friends, they took all my money and they left, and they were lamenting and talking and talking and talking. And then Elesumogbe, he said, you know what? And I don't even understand. I was initiated to Ifa. And then Oba Jado says, well, you were initiated to Ifa. Well, really? I had my Sentai when I was very young. What Odu did you get? And Oba Jado says, well, you know what? My Odu is Oturameji. My Odu is Oturameji too. And they began to think like, wow, this is not a coincidence. This is really something going on here. We both have the same Odu, and we both have a very similar life. We've had a crappy existence up to this point. What does this mean? So the next day, Eselu Mogbe, he then goes to an Awo for Ifa consultation. And this Babalao says to him that his problem had nothing to do with witchcraft. Imagine that. Imagine you have all these things going on in your life, all this craziness popping off, and you're like, man, you know what? This has got to be witchcraft. This has to be witchcraft. It's too much. Eselu goes to the Babalao, and the Babalao says, no, your problem has nothing to do with witchcraft. Eselu Mogbe storms out of the Babalao's house, cussing him out like, man, that dude's full of it. How could he say that my life is not stricken by witchcraft? It has to be. It has to be. The Babalao was telling the truth. Eselu Mogbe went and talked to Oba Jado. He says to him, I went to a Babalao. This Babalao said that everything in my life was nothing in my life was related to witchcraft. That's not the problem. I stormed out before he could tell me anything else. So then Oba Jado and Eselu Mogbe, they decided, you know what? We're both gonna go. Let's go to Awos separate. I'm gonna go to my Babalao, you go to your Babalao, and then let's meet back and tell each other what happened. So they go and they go to their respective Babalaos. And then when they come back, they're both in awe. What has happened is that both Babalaos have told them the situation is not about witchcraft. It is because you fail to observe your taboo. The Babalaos ask both of them, well, do you know your taboos? And they didn't. Neither of them knew their taboos. Both of them were like, well, you know what? When I got initiated or when I got my entire, my parents never told me anything about the stuff I was supposed to do or I wasn't supposed to do. The thing for me or whatever. They were never told their taboos. So they lived a life breaking all their taboos. So they were then asked, okay, what is your Odu? They said, Otura Menchi. And then all the answers begin to come. Think about that for one moment. Going through life without the knowledge of who you truly are. Going through life without knowing your actual purpose in it. And let's even take it a step further. You go through life, you might have got IdinKaa, you might have got a Tefa at one point, but either you weren't listening during the Ita portion or the Babalaos didn't tell you, or the people that you were around, they didn't have enough information to give you your taboos. And you live a life where you consistently break those taboos. What about this? Let's say you have specific taboos, but you break them because you feel like that doesn't apply to me, or it's not comfortable for me not to eat this at this particular point in time. That's just not comfortable. I'm going to do all of these things over here, but I'm not going to do that. So as the Babalawo began to discuss with Eselu Mogbe and Oba Jado, one of the biggest things they told Eselu Mogbe, remember Eselu Mogbe, what his thing was, one of the things that he did, he changed professions. So they said, Eselu Mogbe, one of your taboos is that you should never be too flippant. What that means is you shouldn't fluctuate from place to place. You shouldn't change jobs frequently. You should stick to your job and work it out. The next thing they told him, you know what, Eselu Mogbe, you should never boast. You should never be boisterous. You should never be the one to say, you know what, I got this, I got that, I'm greater than this one, I'm greater than that one. You should never be bragging. And he thought to himself, that was something that he always did. He would tell his friends, I'm better than you. They said to him, you should never drink alcohol excessively based on your own. And he was like, wow, all these things I've done. And you see where it was getting him. Oba Jado, on the other hand, his awo said, your Oduzo Turamechi. Well, what you should not be doing, here are some of the taboos you need to be aware of. You should never get involved in any sort of money borrowing or lending kind of business. And he was like, wow, I've been doing that for so long and I've never been successful at it. He told him that you should instruct your wife and if you have daughters, never to do the same profession, because if they do the same profession, it will lead to their ultimate demise and they will die in quick succession. And Oba Jado put his hand over his face. He was like, whoa, this is so powerful, so deep. In essence, through his ignorance of his own taboo, that led to the death of his children. Imagine that. Imagine the ignorance of your own taboo, the ignorance of your own spiritual allergic reactions. Ignorance of that. What could really happen? You could literally destroy yourself, destroy your families. So then Eselu Mogbe and Oba Jado they went further and they offered their abo, and then they started to recognize and realize and pay attention to their taboos. They recognized all their taboos, and then shortly thereafter, their lives began to elevate. Such a powerful point. What is Ifa telling us? I remember when I got initiated, one of the times I went to support an initiation, and one of my Ajubona, the Araba Baba Ifa Kola de Tinumu, he was working on the Opon and marking and talking and telling these people what their taboos were in life. And then there's a moment when he was saying their taboos and he would put a stone on the Opon. Your taboo is da 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 da. And he put a stone on the Opon, like a little pebble. And then he said, your taboo is this. And he put another pebble on the Opon Ifa. And it had maybe about 5 or 10 pebbles that represented this person's taboo. And then he picked the pebbles up and he said, here, eat them. Eat this. Eat these pebbles, please. And they said, wait, I don't understand. What do you mean? Eat these. Eat these pebbles. And I said, I can't eat those pebbles. Why? Why can't you eat the pebbles? Because it will destroy my stomach. It will kill me. And he said, that is why you should never eat your taboo. You should not consume your taboo, because your taboo is your spiritual poison. It's so important to know those things. And then they're instructed to take those stones and run outside and throw them onto the roof of the house and run back in before they could cascade to the ground. Taboo is so important. Taboo is more important than abo in many respects, because taboo means that you have to change your character. You have to change something about you. You got to do stuff that you don't always do. One of my friends on Instagram, he always posts his workout videos and he says, be comfortable being uncomfortable. That's deep. Get comfortable at being uncomfortable. That is the life of practicing Ifa. Get comfortable at being uncomfortable. The initial stage of doing some of these things, it might be uncomfortable at the beginning, but in the end, it will lead to your success. It will lead to you might not even understand it until long down the line. You might not realize, wow, I abstained from this particular taboo, and now I see. I remember we were doing some work recently, and there was an issue around cola nuts. And all of a sudden I had this taboo of cola nuts. And then the cola nuts that we were finding they had been tainted with something. Ifa has said that was your taboo at a particular moment in time. I didn't know why at that time, but eventually it revealed itself when I realized what was happening. Taboo is very important. So when we think about all of these things, I just want us to think about not what Ifa is saying, but what does Ifa really mean when we analyze the practicality of why we have specific taboos. What is the practical reason for not doing certain behaviors or eating certain things? What is the practical side to that? Because at the initial stage, it sounds crazy. It sounds stupid. You know, I have some really interesting taboos. I remember when I got initiated, I used to love organic peanuts and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And Ifa said, peanuts are your taboo. But that was one of my favorite things. But when you begin to think about it, what I want us to do as we begin to cast more Ifa and learn more Ifa is study taboo and understand why certain things are actually our taboo, because in that will unlock the keys to so much more success. I hope everyone understands and appreciates the message. Abora boy. So I hope you all understand and embrace what we've just discussed around taboo, and I hope that you all can, it sounds really strange, but embrace taboo. And it sounds so hard. It sounds so very hard sometimes to really embrace taboo. I have a really challenging taboo right now where I can't eat out. But as I'm realizing the power of that, I'm realizing I have to cook more. And that is forcing me to cook more nutritious foods, to pay more attention to what I'm putting in my body. And also, when we think about those things, that taboo that I have is saying very practically that eating out can cause food poisoning. So many powerful things. But as I said before, I want you to begin to think about the practical aspects of taboo, like why certain taboos are for you. And lastly, before I close, I wanted to mention to you all that we have cast our Itarogun. Itarogun is a 17-day ritual. I mean, 7 days. We do it every 17 days. And it is based around us as a temple, as a community, coming together to offer a bow to support each other. So the Odu that we got for IdinKaa this Itarogun was Obar Erete. I will be posting the reading notes, the messages of that Odu this week, and I will be collecting the money for the Itarogun until perhaps Tuesday is when I plan to send it out to be done. We came with E-Ray, which is so good. Last Itarogun, it wasn't E-Ray. So it's saying so many positive things about that. So if you would like to be involved in the Itarogun, you can go to the IdinKaa Ifa Temple website. You should see it there on the bottom of the screen. IdinKaaIfatemple.com. IdinKaaIfaTemple.com. If you'd like to be a member, you can go there and find out more information, of course. Also, every Friday, we do an Ifa class. This past Friday, we talked about what is Odu, and we shared information around different people's Odu Ifa to assist them with that. So every Friday, we do a class. If you're interested, you can register online at the website, and you can get all that information there. Every week, I post the flyer for that class on the Temple site and also the Instagram page and the Facebook page. Also, I want to remind people, to please, if you like the content, the things that we're doing, please like it and share it. Please like and share. I probably should say that always at the beginning. If you like what we're doing, like and share, click like and share, and post it. Post it in different places if you like what we're doing, if you like what we're saying, if it's valuable to you. And if it's super duper valuable to you and you want to contribute donations, please feel free. The link is presented on the website, and it's also below the screen. So in terms of that, I want to thank you all once again for sticking around, hanging out with us on this temple service. We ask that Olodumare would continue to bless and protect all of us. We recently cast IdinKaa as a Sekundarin family with IdinKaa Temple and Ayo Temple. We got together, cast IdinKaa for the pandemic once again. The Odu there was Otur Ori-Ire. We just finished offering one of the very powerful protective elbows yesterday. So you will see the videos of that on the IdinKaa site. So I was present for the tail end of it. But if you are interested in having that protection, you can also contribute there. And if you need information about it, it is posted on the IdinKaa Ifa Temple Instagram page. So that's a lot of information. If you want to know more, just go to the website or the Instagram page. If you want to become a member, you can do so at any of those places. So once again, we thank you so much. Please like and share. Olodumare, we want to thank you for life. We want to thank you for health, strength, food, clothing, shelter, protection. We want to thank you for all the good things of life that you've provided us. We ask at this time that you would just come through. Send the Irumole to support us in any troubled time that we might feel. Send Oshu to support our mothers. Send Ogun to support our fathers. Send Shango to support our fathers and our families. Send our sisters and brothers support of the Irumole. We thank you so much, and we ask for protection throughout the week and until we see each other again. I pray that everyone is well and everyone does good things, and that we're also blessed. Hopefully the music didn't jump on too quick, but this is one of my favorite songs. So rock out with me. Abora Aboy. Thank you all so much. Thank y'all. Hey, what's up, man? Peace. I see Ryder Master. Ashe, what's up? Abora Boy. Abora Boy, Abo Shisha Agboto. Thank you. Hey, Maritza. Oh, I forgot to shout out Maritza. Yeah, Maritza Clay. She's doing our Ilekes and Ides. They're fantastic when you get a chance to see them. We thank you so much for your support here. Thank you all so much.